does protection look like for you?
I think just making it so that I feel safe. So in whatever space, whatever context that means, like allowing, because I feel like in order to be yourself, you have to have that basic need of feeling safe in that moment, to be really even be allowed to be yourself. So I think as a husband, it feels nice that when we're walking down the street, like even like we do our daily walks, and you're very adamant about standing on the outside of the sidewalk.
All right, we're out. All right, y'all know she's hitting with the random dance moves each time. You never know. But the dance move that Will Smith did was definitely a Millie Rock. It was a whop. It was for sure a Millie Rock. But there's a few different perspectives that I think we can look at for the slap. All right. So first perspective that I want to talk through. Go ahead, Queen.
Just really, we don't know when people are going to be listening to this.
You're right.
And people may live under a rock as well. So before we jump into it, just in case you are under a rock and you don't know exactly what we're talking about, can we
please do give some context?
Okay. So this past Sunday at the Oscars, this was, I don't remember which Oscars,
March 30th or 31st, 2022.
Oscars happened, and Chris Rock was presenting an award and made a joke.
Chris Rock during that time was a comedian. I'm not sure what he's going to do after this, so people may not remember what Chris Rock was or did.
Yes.
He's a comedian and an actor in this time.
Yes.
Okay.
And for additional context, Will Smith and his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, were sitting in the front row.
Will Smith is also an actor, formerly known as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Thank you. And so Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith being bald. We don't know whether he knew or not, but he claims to not have known that she's actually been dealing with alopecia, which is a disease where you lose your hair. And so she's been very public about having struggles with that. So that joke did we assume rubbed her the wrong way, and also rubbed Will Smith, her husband, the wrong way. And so Will Smith actually walked up onto the stage during the award ceremony and slapped Chris Rock across the face in front of national television, in front of the whole live audience. And Chris Rock did his best to go on with the show. And maintain his professionalism, if you will. But that is the episode that the event that we are talking about, the slap.
Boom! Thank you for that context, Queen. That was well done. So I want to look at a few different perspectives. First off, I think as a married couple, and we can even dive a little bit deeper as a Black married couple.
My name is Sinclair, and I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner who has created a program that takes a deep dive into your hormone levels and your overall metabolic health to create a highly personalized weight loss protocol that will have you lose 30 pounds, gain energy, and have you feeling so good that you go into the back of the closet and pull out that freakum dress. We all have one. So if you are ready to invest in the last weight loss program you will ever need, go to queen2queencoaching.com and book a discovery call to figure out which queen to queen package is right for you. Talk to you soon.
What was it like for you to witness a husband? I don't know if protecting is the right word, but protecting his wife in that manner.
So I need to preface how I found out about this, because I think naturally that tainted how I looked at the video when I first saw it.
Okay.
So I actually found out about it through an influencer, a father influencer that I follow.
Belief.
Yes, through Belief in Fatherhood on Instagram. So that is how I first found out about it, because his post popped up and said that it is important for a man to publicly protect his wife in front of everybody, because that's not seen enough, basically. And to summarize what he said. So of course I'm like, well, what did I miss? So that's when I went and kind of dug up and went to the shade room naturally to figure out what happened.
Of course.
But that is what I saw first, of like, okay, so let me go see what husband was protecting his wife. So I think that did frame how I watched the video the first time. Of course, now having watched it multiple times, I've now kind of got a little bit of a different take onto it. But I do think that aspect of it was I don't know if comforting is the word to say, but it was nice to see the lengths, I guess, that a husband would go to protect his husband, to protect his wife. I'm not going to say again what I thought about it, like right or wrong, but I'm just saying emotionally, right? That was one positive thing that I did take away from it, is that.
Yeah. So I just want to bring up the definition of protect.
Okay.
Real quick, because I think, yes, in some forms or fashion, people may see him as protecting her. But when you look at the definition, it says to keep safe from harm or injury. What harm or injury was he keeping her from?
And I don't think I used the word protect. I said stand up for. Or did I say protect?
We can listen back.
Okay. Then.
I believe I heard the word protect.
And we've talked about that. Yeah, I don't know that he was necessarily protecting, but more like standing up for, which are, in my opinion, two different things.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So it was nice to see him stand up for his wife. Do I think he could have done it in a better way? Yes. But the actual act of him standing up for his wife was nice to see.
Right. So lesson here, right? And I want us to, we're a married couple, right? One, what does protection look like for you, right? For me out there, whether we're at the Oscars, whether we're at movie theater, we're at a juicing bar. What does
you know what goes down at the juice bar?
Hey, the juice bar, it gets real sometimes, all right? Look, they know jujitsu in there. But what does protection look like for you?
I think just making it so that I feel safe. So in whatever space, whatever context that means, like allowing, because I feel like in order to be yourself, you have to have that basic need of feeling safe in that moment, to be really even be allowed to be yourself. So I think as a husband, it feels nice that when we're walking down the street, like even like we do our daily walks, and you're very adamant about standing on the outside of the sidewalk, right? Those little things are nice, because I know at any given point you are somehow taking that role of trying to make me feel safe. And that, again, even it's almost the intention that provides even that extra level of comfort than it is so much the action that you're taking.
Nice. I like that. So for me, what I'm struggling with is that protection comes with violence.
Yeah, it shouldn't have to.
Right? I don't think it should have to. And I think that's one of the lessons that the false lessons I think is coming from this the slap, the Will Smith debacle, right? Is if you're going to protect your wife, it needs to look like this. It needs to look like violence. You need to be going up on stage. You need to be pulling up on somebody. And I think that's a dangerous narrative, because we already have that narrative when it comes to protecting our own personal manhood. Right. If someone presses you as a man, you're supposed to do something. So now, if someone presses you as a man, but also if someone does something to your woman, violence supposedly is the answer both ways. And I think that gets a slippery slope for Black men in public.
Now, and we did talk about this. It's not to say that protecting may not mean violence in certain cases.
Exactly.
In my opinion, this was not one of those cases, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't ever lead to violence. If it is a violent situation and somebody is physically harming, your wife or another person, obviously you may need to step in, and that may have to be a part of the solution. But yeah, if it's just words being spoken, I don't know that that violence is really the answer, the correct answer, if you will, for that.
Right. Now, I also think we need a code, right? I think married couples, I think we kind of already have our unspoken like signals and stuff to each other, but I feel like there needs to be a code, right? So we have our code word, which
Yes.
is hippopotamus.
Oh, you were just gonna say the code word. Now we have to change the code word.
Do we?
Yeah. What if some random person sees this? They walk down the street, they say it. I'm like, oh wait, I heard it.
No. If you hear me say it, it's not if you hear a random person say it. All right, we can switch up the code word. But long story short,
what's code about it if everybody knows it?
we got 18 listeners. All right, I'm gonna be real with you.
Right now.
Sinclair. We got 18 listeners. So having your code word, right? What's his, Kevin Hart said his code word was pineapples. Pineapples when you've had enough, or have a code word when it's time to go. Like, this is not a good situation. They're surrounding us over there. That person don't know you. Oh, is that a hippopotamus?
Mm-hmm.
We out of here, right? I feel like there also needs to be a code word when you feel unprotected and you need either physical protection or the next level of protection, right? Is that a word? Is that a look? Is that a tap? What do you think? Because some people think that Jada gave Will a look,
a symbol,
some type of signal,
yeah,
right? Whether it was her head down, whether it was the stone cold face, like I'm not laughing, this ain't funny. But some people think that, okay, she did something, gave him a signal. Will Smith was like, it's time to roll, right? Which I 100%, if that's what happened, respect it. If she gave the signal and they've had a conversation like, hey, if this happens, if I do this, you know what time it is, Will. That's like, all right, yeah, your wife gives you an order. Hey, Brad, you gotta go to war. Like that's what it is. So what is your war signal, Sinclair?
I don't know. I feel like it should probably be a word, only because I wouldn't want, depending on what's being said or what's happening or whatever, like I may have a natural reaction that I don't want to be misconstrued as right. If all of a sudden I'm like nice. I may just be Millie rocking, and that's just me dancing. That don't mean I need you to go whack somebody on the.
Okay, noted.
But so yeah, it's probably a word just because it should be something very intentional that I do so that it's go time versus if it's like a look or I squeeze you, like that could be something I think outside of that situation that I might do. If just something crazy is going down, that doesn't mean that I need you to go jump into action. So we'll think of a word.
Let's do that.
A separate code word from the one you all just heard.
Yeah, let's do that, because I think that is very important. And brief conversation with my dad downstairs, he was talking about like we don't know what the dynamic of what with Will and Jada was, to where if he didn't act, what the climate would have been like back home, right? And at the end of the day, that's what matters. Like, is your wife happy? Is your family happy? Is your home a happy home? So I feel like if you know what those signals are and you communicate ahead of time, hey, if I say this, I expect this. If I do this, I expect that. Then there's no miscommunication. You're able to execute.
Yep.
Now the flip side of this. Do you know where I'm going?
No.
Oh, okay. You said as in you were like, yeah, let's talk about that. Something that I do want to talk about is the professionalism.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that's kind of where you're going.
Yes.
That man.
I want to talk about the professionalism.
If I was him, I'd be like, the price is going up. Look what I've endured, and I'm saying character.
Look what I've endured. Bane came to my head as soon as I hear endured, like Bane comes to mind. But the fact that he was able just to keep his composure after getting slapped and not say anything extra, right? He held it back. He did say, I just got slapped on national television. It's the best day ever. And kept it pushing. Right. I felt like it was very impressive. Very impressive. Anything you want to say before I take it into what the podcast will be about for like the next 10-15 minutes? We're going somewhere with this, y'all. But go ahead, Queen.
No, just to echo, like, just put yourself in that situation. Like, I feel like just the amount of like, I feel like he truly had to be up there and like in 100% character of like, I am presenting this award, I am hosting right now or whatever, for it not to have that natural reaction to come out. So,
he didn't cuss. Right. He didn't swing back. He didn't even seem like he flinched. Right. Which is why I think it was still fake to this day. But if it did happen, it's still like, wow. Right. That's very poised. Very. Right. And where I want to lead it to is, how do you react, or better yet, how do you respond when life slaps you in the face. Yeah. Right. How do you respond when you're standing up there, you're giving your speech, you're working your 9 to 5, you're working your entrepreneurship career, you're parenting, whatever it is you're doing in life, the universe just comes and hits you with the whop. Right? Well, what's your response? What's your reaction to that? And I think some of us, we don't think about how we respond to quote unquote failure, to negativity until it happened and we're in the hole and we're like, dang, how we get here? Yeah. Right. So I want you to think about an example of when the universe, when life, when things just slapped you, it didn't go according to plan, and how you were able to respond, whether it was negative or positive, and maybe how you can learn from that. Right. Because again, lessons from this, the man was poised, right, professional, and he even issued an apology later on.
Apparently, we're not sure if that was actually that issued it.
He got hacked.
It's possible.
Oh, that's goodness. Listen,
the juice that Grandy gave. It might not be. It might not be. I think it might have been a fake apology from somebody that was not Chris Rock. Will Smith did apologize, but I guess Chris Rock has not officially said anything.
Interesting. Okay, I'm not gonna go through that rabbit hole, but I know one for sure example that I have, and Queen, again, marinate on yours. But I would say is the Kickstarter. I'm like every single time when I think of failed moments in entrepreneurship, the Kickstarter always comes to mind.
Thank you for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast. We hope you learned something valuable that you can take and implement into your life. Now, we've all heard that sharing is caring, and this podcast is no exception. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, a family member, a coworker, a stranger walking down the street, anybody who you think can level up from this message. As always, we appreciate your support, and we'll talk to you next week. Be well.